Hi there, this is Damian David with Healthcare Triangle. Welcome back to Week in Review. This is week number 30, December 17th, 2020. One more week before the Christmas week comes. So here we go. I'm going to do some headlines. Going to do part two with my conversation with Jeffrey Becker from Forrester about, what's to come after COVID-19, what to expect in the world of healthcare operations and technology. And then I'm going to leave you with some images and some sounds going into the holiday season in the world of COVID-19. So here we go. Headlines, December 17, 2020. Let's get down to vaccines. They're finally being administered. So the UK started last week with the Pfizer vaccine, and then the US followed suit a couple days ago, started to distribute and deploy some of the vaccines to not only healthcare workers and professionals, but also to some of the first responders throughout the country. So even in my town, Lincoln, Nebraska, a team of firefighters have received the vaccine. So we can expect a wave of vaccine deployments over the next week. I hope this is foreshadowing the end of this pandemic. We'll see how it goes. I expect to hear more news over the next week or two, so I'll keep you informed over the holidays, okay? Okay, the second headline this week. The U.S. Senate has gone ahead and declared that they're close to getting a deal done and signed around COVID relief and the stimulus check. So more to come. Hopefully we'll understand that a little bit better on my next week in review. Headline number 3. French President Emmanuel Macron is the latest world leader to have contracted the coronavirus. Seems to be doing fine, and he's going to continue to work in isolation for another 9 days or so, and then they're going to reassess his condition from there. Headline number 4, Moderna meets with FDA today to see if their vaccine is approved as well. So we could have 2 vaccines available for use as of later today, early tomorrow. Okay, that brings us to the COVID-19 stats. I do them every week. Here we go at the world level. We now have 74.4 million confirmed cases. That's up over 64.5 million cases the last time I reported to you, just over a week ago. Of that, we've had 42.1 million recoveries around the world, up from 41.1 million the last time. And then we've had 1.65 million deaths from coronavirus COVID-19, up from 1.49 million deaths around the world just over a week ago. Narrowed down into just the U.S. stats, we're up to 17 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the U.S., up from 14 million just over a week ago. So keep that in mind. We've had 3 million more cases confirmed in the past week and a half or so since I did the last week in review. We're not tracking recoveries anymore, but we are up to 308,000 deaths, up from 274,000 deaths just over a week ago, last we talked. So there you go. Those are our stats. Let's get now to part 2 of the conversation I had with Jeffrey Becker from Forrester. Just really exciting conversation. I always love talking to Jeff. We go way back into we work for an EHR company together. I don't know. We've always had great conversations. I love his mind and how it works. So here we go with part 2 on what we've seen and how we've seen COVID-19 impact technology and operations in healthcare. All right, so over the past, 10 months, we talked a little bit about the technology, some of the other barriers that were non-technology related, like speaking a little bit more to not necessarily specifically the parity, but what do you think some of the long-lasting effects are going to be? Are they going to be technology-based? Are they going to be process-based? Are they going to be some sort of regulations-based?
I think you'll get a little bit of all of it, but my take is that the biggest change for healthcare that'll come from the last 10 months will be the consumer-facing tech side. There's been some very cool stuff happening in the hospital side, on the clinician-facing side, but as an industry, we have largely neglected digital transformation. Retail went digital, finance went digital. You don't really need to go into a brick and mortar location as a consumer to engage with those industries and spend your money and receive care or receive value. It's not the same in healthcare. There is a lot of opportunity to build a digital infrastructure that delivers between value care or between visit care. And you're starting to see some of the more nuanced pieces come into place that we wouldn't have even thought about just 2 years ago. So chatbots as symptom checkers, Well, we've had WebMD-based symptom checkers for 10 years, but now we have COVID-19 specific chatbots for symptom checkers. They are starting to funnel high-risk patients right over to telehealth platforms so that they can get a text or audio or video consultation with an actual clinician and get a sense of what's going on with them. You'll start to see an uptick in at-home diagnostics. Big interest in, of course, COVID-19 at-home diagnostics. The FDA just cleared our first at-home diagnostic kit, but you'll see them for more. There's at-home UTI diagnostic kits and a whole bunch of others that you'll continue to see, and that'll be an important part of sort of the digital front door tech stack, is being able to work with you with symptom checkers and telehealth visits, and then mail you a diagnostic test to confirm your diagnosis or rule something out, keeping you out of the health system. And then there's the remote patient monitoring. That's where we're seeing a lot of investment is now you have a diagnosed patient at home. You want to monitor them, but they don't necessarily need to go take a bed in your ER or in your hospital. So enroll them on a remote patient monitoring program. We'll use automation and a team of care managers to check in on them virtually every day and just monitor for deterioration. If they start to deteriorate, then you send them to the hospital. But we don't just whole hog send the sick population to the hospital for screening. We can start really building a much more savvy technical front end to the industry. So I don't think any of that will go anywhere. When we talk to healthcare leaders now, it's interesting because you talk to finance, retail, any of the other industries, and you say, what's your major technology priority for 2021? It's all digital transformation, data-driven insights, AI, ML. If you carve out healthcare and only healthcare, and you look at what their major priority for 2021 is, it's optimizing the new technologies that have just recently been implemented. And it makes sense. Like 2021 is not a year for digital transformation, not in healthcare. 2021 is a year for optimizing. It is just a step back year where we can take all the stuff we just implemented as point solutions to scale up to meet the needs of COVID-19. We're just going to optimize that, get them more tightly integrated, create a better data strategy underpinning it all. And use these tools to engage patients better and to empower providers to deliver more care at a distance.
I think you just nailed it. What you and I have been talking for almost a decade on is just that, we always used to make the joke that healthcare is behind. We're in the technology, and healthcare as an industry is behind when it comes to technology. 10 years ago, that was kind of like the ongoing joke there. Now I see that gap. It's definitely narrowing, but I think you make a great point. 2021 is the year that we have to learn how to use the new toys we just got, so that way we can truly understand what the opportunity is to utilize them to do the digital transformation. So we almost have to build up our savvy in that type of realm, if you will, so that way we can catch up to retail, we can catch up to manufacturing, all the other in financials, all the other industries that have been doing this stuff since I think the 90s when I had an ATM card, right? So right. They have like a 20, 30 year start on us. I think healthcare has been great at catching up, though, especially through this pandemic. It's really accelerated, and that excites me, to be honest with you, Jeff.
Yeah, you make a good point, and so I think that bring a lot of altruism to the conversation, healthcare leaders, they're not realistically going to divest from this vision. We've talked to them, and they will say, I actually even think there was a recent study that published that highlights that even if we don't get payment parity, even if the business model doesn't immediately make sense, this is the future, this is the direction we're going. We will make this business case at the negotiating table with the payers over years of negotiating, but we're not going to try to unravel the work we've done on building out better digital experiences. So I think this is here to stay, and the rest of it is, there's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the hospitals and behind the scenes, but I really do think the biggest transformation is going to be that we just accelerated the strategy that we have for between visit, real-time engagement with our patients by like 10 years over the course of like 10 months.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, awesome talking about this. I hope we could do this throughout the year because I think it's just going to be more and more rapid with new things that that will pop up in the next couple months that we'll circle back, talk about that we weren't even thinking that would even be a point of conversation for this time frame. So again, thank you for doing this with me. I hope to do it again in the future. I always ask a hot seat question, put you on the spot a little bit. Do you mind? Are you ready for it?
Of course. What do you got?
All right. So one of my favorite questions to ask people is, if you had 30 minutes, you could spend time with anybody either throughout history or in current times. Who would you spend that 30 minutes with, and what would you do?
That's a good question. I think I'd go get hot dogs and a beer with Dave Chappelle. I think that many times he would have an interesting perspective, but I've always enjoyed his view on scenarios and situations, and I think that we're all trying to be better than who we've been, and he's pretty persistently carried a voice of integrity and being true to his value system. So I'd love to hear what he has to say. I'd love to hear what he has to say about our healthcare predicaments and how we can do better about working with underserved populations, and just pick his brain about my world. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Hey, that's a great one. David Chappelle, love him. So that's a good one. Love hot dogs too.
Yeah.
Hey, man, always great catching up with you. Hopefully not too much time goes by until the next time. Hey, stay safe. Appreciate what you're doing, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
All right, man. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
Yeah.
Again, special thanks to Jeffrey Becker for doing this video call with me. I don't know, it's just been a lot of fun. I look forward to following up with you, Jeff, in the next couple of months. Maybe give it a couple of months, check back in with you, see where we're at as we get into 2021, even just to have another fun conversation. So more to come, I'm sure, from Jeffrey Becker. Again, thanks to him. And up next week, we have a conversation with my friend Melissa Hall, who works in IT at Calvert Health. She was recently and still is in a clinical trial for the Moderna vaccine. That's a hot topic today as they figure out if they're going to be approved by the FDA or not as a vaccine option. She just wants to get the message out there. I know there's some folks that are a little bit hesitant to feel that the vaccine is safe, but she wants to reassure in what she knows as she's experienced through the clinical trials that it's the right thing to do in this time. If you have an opportunity to take the vaccine, go ahead and do it. We're a pioneering spirit in medicine right now, and this is one of those opportunities for us to kind of embrace what's new for us and what can be if we take the right steps. So here we go. Some images. Happy holidays. I think I will see you one more time before Christmas for those of you who celebrate it. Happy holidays for everybody else. See you next week.
Remember me, though I have to say goodbye. Remember me, but don't let them make you cry. For even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing to you a secret song every night that we're apart. Remember me, where I have to travel far. Remember me, each time you hear a sad guitar. Know that I'm with you the only way that I can be, until you're in my arms again.